Hello and welcome to MetaMorpheus Quick Start Guide to the Windows GUI. This software program comes out of Dr. Lloyd Smith's group at UW-Madison, and I'm Rachel Miller. Let's begin. First, we're going to discuss system requirements for the use of MetaMorpheus. We recommend that you have 16 gigabytes of RAM. Second, installation of the latest Microsoft C++ redistributable is strongly recommended. And finally, if you plan to use .raw thermo files, we require you to have the Thermo MS file reader installed on your computer. We recommend version 3.0 SP2. Next, let's discuss Specter requirements. You will need to have both MS1 and MS2 scans, and your data must be high resolution. Now that we've discussed system requirements, it's time to download MetaMorpheus. And we'll start just by a simple Google search for MetaMorpheus GitHub. GitHub is where we host our open source software program. And as you can see, it is github.com/smithchem/whisk/metamorpheus. I'm going to click on that link there. All right. And we want to be in the code tab. We're going to scroll down a little ways until we see the readme.md. And we're going to click download the current version here. We'll be taken to a page of releases, all right, and this is the latest release of MetaMorpheus. There's many different things that you could click on to install here, but we want to click on MetaMorpheus installer.msi. And while this is downloading, I'm just going to discuss here these little, this list, and these are all the updates that have happened to this version of MetaMorpheus over previous versions. So if you're ever curious why a new release was made, this will tell you what was done. All right, so now we'll open the installer. All right, it's a nice setup wizard, and we're going to click Next. We have two checkboxes here. Create a shortcut for this program on the desktop. This is unchecked by default, but I always like to check it because I want easy access to the software program. And the other one is Overwrite Modification Databases and User Settings with updated default versions. And this is checked by default, and we want to keep it that way, all right? And then we're going to click Next, and then Install. And we want to allow this app to make changes to your devices. You can see here we're a verified publisher at UW-Madison. All right, now the install is complete, and we're going to click Launch MetaMorpheus. So you see here, this is the Windows GUI of MetaMorpheus. It has a space for you to drag and drop your protein databases, your mass spec files, adding your search task, tell you where your output data is going to go, and if any warnings occur during your search, all right? We have these little tabs up here, Settings, Data, and Help, which is the most important. So here, first option under Help is check for updates, all right? So this will check the GitHub to see if any newer releases have been put out by our lab, and it will tell you if you can update. As you can see here, we have the most updated version because we just installed it. Next, you can go to Open Wiki page. This takes us back to GitHub here. And the wiki page is essentially the user's manual. So this is the home. It kind of gives a brief overview. You can go to specific topics, like if you want to learn more about our calibration or about the search task, you can go here. Next, we can submit an issue on GitHub. If something is going wrong with your searches and you can't figure out why you're not getting what you expect to, or if you're experiencing crashes, or even if you have an idea that you could think would be beneficial for MetaMorpheus, you can submit an issue here on GitHub. You can also email our support email address with any other concerns or if you don't want to use the GitHub. And we are very responsive on both of these avenues of contact, all right? So now that you're cursorily familiar with the GUI, we're going to go ahead and test our installation real quick, and I will pause this while I get that all set up. All right, so you see here I've minimized the GUI window, all right, and I'm just going to drag and drop a Uniprot XML FASTA database and an MZML file, which is a Specter file that has been calibrated with our search software. We allow .mzml as well as thermo.raw files. I'm just going to add a search task and click Run All Tasks. All right, so as this is searching real quick, I'm just going to go over. So we have our search task, which performs a search. And there's also various post-analysis procedures that it can perform, such as quantification, protein parsimony, histogram analysis, etc. We have our calibration task, which mass calibrates the spectra to allow for better data. We have our GPTMD task, which is Global Post-Translational Modification Discovery. This annotates a database with modifications discovered by our GPTMD method. And we have XL task. This discovers cross-linked peptides. Now, we will go into more details about each one of these tasks and its parameters in separate videos. Now, these searches usually take a couple minutes, so I'm just going to pause while this completes. All right, and you can see here that our search task completed, which means that we have effectively installed MetaMorpheus, and it is working properly. Thank you for watching the Quick Start Guide for the Windows GUI. I will welcome you to watch specific videos pertaining to protein databases, mass spec files, and each of our search tasks. Thank you again.